All right, guys, today is 8.4 to 8.7 review, which means we probably have a quiz coming up, and yes, we do on Thursday. So this is a nice recap of all the factoring methods. Okay, always factor out a GCF if possible. And that means look for what the terms have in common. Okay, so let's look at this one. What can you guys pull out of 3p cubed and 24p to the fifth? So what is the common factor of 3 and 24? Well, it's 3. And since they both have p's, we can pull out the smaller amount, so p to the third. And then you draw a parenthesis and you divide and subtract to see what's left inside. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, and then 3 minus 3 is 0, so no p's. And then minus 24 divided by 3 is 8, and then for the p's, 5 minus 3 is p2. So that is called factoring out the GCF. Okay, that's a 2. All right, what about this one? Start with the numbers. What do 4 and 12? What do they both divide by? It's 4. And then they both have b's, so let's do the b's first. You can only pull out the smaller amount of b's, so b2, b squared. And then they both have m's, so we can only pull out the smaller amount of m's, which is m2. And then you draw your parenthesis and see what's left. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 2 minus 2 means no b's left. 3 minus 2 means 1 m left. And then plus 12 divided by 12 divided by 4 is 3. For the b's, 3 minus 2 is 1 left. And for the m's, 2 minus 2 is 0, so no m's left. So that is factored by the GCF. Okay, factoring trinomials. I don't do it this way, so we're going to skip this. We just learned guess and check this year. All right, so let's try it. Remember, these are the ones where you draw your double parenthesis. Okay, so we need two terms that multiply to 3x squared. So that's got to be 3x and 1x. And then next, find two numbers that multiply to negative 20. And they go here and here. But keep in mind, the inners plus the outers have to add to negative 11. So you have to be careful where you put them. All right, so some options for 20. It could be 4 and 5. It could be 10 and 2. It could be 1 and 20. I think that's it. So play around. You know one of them has to be negative. So one of them has to be negative. What should go where? So the inners plus the outers add to negative 11. So you guys might need to pause it here. I've been doing these for a long time, so I can see that the 5 goes here and the 4 goes here, because if I make the negative here and the positive here, 4 plus negative 15 is negative 11. So that's the answer. It just takes practice, a lot of practice. Now, if there is a negative leading coefficient, you start by dividing through by a negative 1, every single piece. So then this would be positive x squared, negative x, negative 6. And now that it's positive, we can factor guess and check style. All right, so to get x squared, it's got to be 1x and 1x. And then we need two numbers that multiply to negative 6. But at the same time, the inners plus the outers have to add to negative 1. Okay, so it's probably 3 and 2. And then if you want it to be -1, we need a -3 and a +2. Oh, and don't forget, whatever GCF you divided by, you always put it out front. That is the final factored answer. And then most recently, we did the specialty ones, difference of two perfect squares. Okay, so always check for GCF first, and then use our plus minus trick to, I didn't really teach it that way. We'll just do it our way. Okay, so this one, no GCF, and it's the difference of two perfect squares. So let's do it. What times what would give you 4b squared? So it's got to be 2b and 2b. Remember, they have to be the same. And then, what times what would give you 25w4? And that would be 5w squared and 5w squared in order to get 25w4. And then for the middle terms to cancel, one is plus and one is minus. And that's it. Okay, now this one, there's a GCF. What can you guys divide 8 and 50 by? 2. So first we got to take out the GCF. We're left with 4b to the 4th minus 25w to the 4th. Okay, now these are perfect squares, and now we can use our trick. So what times what is 4b4? It'd be 2b squared and 2b squared. And then what times what is 25w4? Oh, we just did that one. 5w squared and 5w squared. Okay, I didn't learn my lesson to write smaller. And then the difference of two squares trick is always plus and always minus. Okay, so that's a recap of the 3 types of factoring that we did this chapter. Thanks for watching.